The town of Millstone slept under a heavy sky, the streets silent except for the rustling leaves. But at the end of Willow Lane stood an old house, its shutters broken, its paint peeling, its door chained yet trembling. Ethan and Claire walked side by side, dared by friends to enter their flashlights, shook in their hands, laughter long behind them. The silence pressing closer with every step, the stories of missing children circling in their minds like vultures. The house had belonged to the Granger family, gone decades ago. Whispers claimed they never left, only sank below, into a cellar no one remembered building, the floorboards covering secrets older than the town itself. Ethan pulled the chain loose, rust falling like dust. The door groaned open. The smell hit them first, damp wood, mold, something metallic beneath. Sharp like blood, long dried, Claire covered her nose but followed him inside. The living room sagged with rot. Wallpaper blistered in strange patterns, resembling eyes pressed from behind. The floor creaked under their weight, as though the house sighed with hunger, the air heavy, thick, resistant to every breath. Claire's beam caught portraits on the wall, faces scratched out until only gouged wood remained, symbols carved above them, spirals, jagged crosses, and shapes like cages, ink and blood mingling in dark stains, dripping though nothing fresh touched them. A faint scratching sound came from beneath the floorboards, slow and steady, as if nails scraped wood from underneath. Ethan crouched low, pressing his ear, his eyes widened. He heard whispers, layered voices, repeating one word: below. The sound shifted toward the kitchen. They followed against reason, the tiles cracked in wide veins. In the center, a trapdoor half hidden beneath dust and broken furniture, its handle rusted but warm, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Claire stepped back, refusing to touch it, her lips trembling. But Ethan gripped the handle, pulling until the hinges screamed. Darkness below exhaled, damp and cold, carrying the smell of earth mixed with rot and copper. A wooden ladder descended into the black. Ethan insisted on going first. Claire reluctantly behind, their lights slicing through the dark, revealing stone walls slick with moisture, roots crawling like veins across the ceiling, dripping water in steady rhythm. The cellar stretched deeper than expected, far longer than the house above, corridors branching like tunnels, the air colder with every step. Their breaths fogged white, the whispers grew louder coming from the stone itself, vibrating through their bones. They found shelves lined with jars, cloudy glass containing shapes too distorted to name something that twitched when the light struck. Teeth pressed against glass, tiny fingers clawing faintly. Claire screamed but muffled her voice quickly, afraid to be heard. Further inside stood a wooden table, carved with symbols identical to those upstairs. Chains bolted into stone, hooks dangling overhead, dried stains crusted black beneath, the smell unbearable, the air thick as if refusing to release them. The whispers stopped, replaced by footsteps, slow, deliberate, echoing from deeper in the tunnel. Ethan raised his light, shadows bent unnaturally. Too long, too many, merging and separating like smoke. A figure emerged, impossibly tall, its head scraping roots. Its face was featureless, stretched smooth like wax, but from where a mouth should be came the whisper, thousands of voices bleeding into one. "Below," it hissed, "stay below." Its hand dragged along the wall, nails leaving deep grooves. Claire grabbed Ethan, pulling him back, but the tunnel behind had changed. Longer, darker, lined with doors that were not there before. Each door shuddered, something inside clawing, pounding, begging to be let out. Voices overlapping in desperation. Ethan chose a door, slamming it open. Inside was a small room, shelves stacked with dolls, porcelain cracked, eyes missing, each sewn shut with black thread, their heads tilted in unison, staring without eyes, whispers leaking through their stitches. Claire sobbed, dragging him out. The figure closer now, its limbs bending backward as it moved, joints cracking loud, its body folding and unfolding like paper. Ethan swung his flashlight. The beam passed through it, light bending around. They ran, tunnels twisting without sense, the house above forgotten, their lights flickering, every corridor identical, roots crawling thicker, pulsing faintly like veins alive, the whispers shifting into laughter, children's laughter, cruel and endless, bouncing from wall to wall. Finally, they stumbled into a chamber larger than the others. In the center stood a pit, a hole in the stone floor, black and endless, wind rising from it though nothing stirred, the laughter pouring upward like smoke. Claire backed away, but something grabbed her ankle, pale hands rising from the pit, dozens, maybe hundreds, clawing, pulling, dragging. She screamed as Ethan pulled at her arms, but the hands tightened, whispers chanting louder, "Stay below, stay below." The figure stood at the pit's edge, bending, its smooth face splitting, revealing a mouth lined with outward-pointing teeth. The sound of grinding bones filled the chamber. It pointed one long finger at Ethan. The whispers obeyed. The hands released Claire only to seize Ethan, dragging him closer. He fought, kicking, but their strength overwhelming. He fell to the ground, pulled inch by inch toward the pit. Claire clawed at him, sobbing, but her grip slipped. Ethan's scream echoed as the pit swallowed him, the hands dragging him into darkness, the whispers deafening. Claire's light flickered once, then died, leaving her in blackness, only the faint glow of eyes opening along the walls. The chamber pulsed with sound, the walls breathing. The whispers soft now, almost gentle, repeating her name over and over. Claire. Until her mind fractured, she stumbled backward, tripping into another tunnel that had not been there before. She ran blindly, the walls narrowing, pressing against her, voices scraping her skull, the floor slick with something warm. She fell, sliding down a slope, landing hard in another room, the smell choking, the air heavy. In the dim light of her broken flashlight, she saw rows of small beds, wooden, decayed, each bed occupied by a child-sized shape covered in cloth, the sheets stained dark, the shapes rising and falling faintly, breathing. The whispers hushed, replaced by lullabies sung in cracked voices. The children turned beneath the cloth, faceless heads lifting, pointing toward her, their small arms rising, fingers reaching. The sound of tiny nails scratching the stone floor. Claire screamed, stumbling out, back into the twisting halls, every direction the same. Laughter chasing her, whispers circling, footsteps closing in, her body trembling, her mind breaking, until finally she saw a ladder leading upward. She climbed, lungs burning, tears streaking her cheeks, emerging into the living room again, daylight streaming faintly through broken shutters. She collapsed, sobbing, the sound of her heartbeat loud, too loud, until she realized it wasn't hers. The floor vibrated, whispers rising from beneath, louder than ever. "Stay below," they demanded. She stumbled toward the door, but the chain was back, tighter, rust new, refusing to break, her fists bloodied as she pulled. She turned and saw the portraits, their faces no longer scratched out but filled with eyes watching her, mouths stretched wide, whispering her name. Her flashlight cracked in her grip, flickering once before darkness claimed the room again. Morning came to Millstone. The house at Willow Lane stood silent, its shutters swaying gently, the door chained, the whispers gone. Yet in the cellar below, beneath stone and rot, two voices joined the endless chorus, calling for release.